We got a special treat for you guys today. We're going to do a full unboxing of the Microsoft Surface Studio. I'll show you what's inside, give you a quick tour, and give you my initial thoughts. Stay tuned. Okay, so let's actually unbox it now. This thing is massive. I feel like Indiana Jones opening the Ark of the Covenant. Actually, he did not open it, but you get my meaning. Anyway, let's do it. So here it is, all in its glory. Pretty minimalist setup, pretty interesting. There is a lot of styrofoam here where everything is packed in. I'm sure Microsoft did a lot of testing here so that this expensive machine survives shipping. You can see here they give you a little instruction. So I want to grab it apparently by the display and lift it out. And there goes that zero gravity hinge. I have to admit, I'm a little bit nervous here pulling this out. Let's see. There we go. It actually comes right out. Look at that. I'm going to put it to the side, not drop it. And let's see what we have here in the box. Look at this. It's actually, I know it's a $3,000 computer, so you kind of expect this. But hey, as far as, intro books, we're humbled you've chosen Microsoft Studio. It's a nice little introduction to the whole device, a studio for ideas. Kind of a neat little thing from the team. Basically goes through and tells you everything about the device and some really amazing photography for sure. We'll do some more on that a little bit later. Other than that, looks like we've got some warranty information and stuff which we'll put to the side too. Let's pull out this section here and see what this is. Looks like it's held in by a plastic sheet here. I'm going to guess this is probably the mouse and cord, or just the cord at this point. So here is the power cord. Comes sealed, of course. Very minimal design, obviously. This just plugged into the back and that to your wall. That's basically the only cable you're going to have on this whole device, which is pretty sweet. At the top here, I'm guessing this is going to be the keyboard. It's amazing how deep this is, this box, but actually not a very large keyboard. Now, if you've seen, I've already reviewed the ergonomic Surface keyboard. That is actually my preferred choice and what I'll be using with this. They, of course, just shipped the basic Surface keyboard here, which is the same refinement, so it should be aluminum metal design along with those new Surface keys. Of course, you get a Surface Pen, and you get the new Surface mouse, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's an okay mouse. It's pretty flat. I actually like the Sculpt ergonomic mouse myself, but you can, of course, use any mouse you like. Now, I should mention also, if you pre-order this device, they throw in a $99 Surface Dial. Otherwise, you have to buy it independently at some point. You can, of course, buy it on your own. We already reviewed this as kind of a non-artist, but they throw it in there as well. They usually ship it separately from the device itself, so you may actually get earlier, but it's free Surface Dial if you pre-order. Okay, let's do one of the more satisfying aspects of any unboxing, which is, of course, taking off the protective wrap from this amazing giant display. Like I said, this display is 28 inches and it is a 4500 by 3000 resolution, which is a pretty weird number. That's because it's a 3:2 aspect ratio, which is the same as what they use on the Surface. So it's basically like a giant sheet of paper, which is, of course, how Microsoft always sells this. And there it is, your PixelSense display, one of the biggest out there. Okay, and of course, the base itself is wrapped in plastic, so let's take that off. Everything here is super protected. So far, no issues with the unpacking in terms of anything damaged, and we shouldn't expect anything either. And of course, we want to take off the plastic wrap here from the zero gravity hinge arms. A little story here that I learned from engineering when I was talking to them back at the reveal. They actually have set up the chrome on here so that it refracts light at certain angles, and believe it or not, they test each one as it comes off the factory floor so that light hits it and doesn't necessarily show a glare. I swear to God, that's what they tell me. It's pretty crazy stuff, but that goes to show you the level of precision. The idea they want is, of course, that this display basically floats and that there's nothing actually supporting it. And you do that by making this sort of not reflect light and bring attention to your eye. Okay, let's give a quick tour of the back of the device. As you can see here, we have 4 USB 3.0 ports, which is pretty nice. You do have a full Ethernet port, which we're, of course, using. If you do not have Ethernet, of course, there is full Wi-Fi built in. You have your AC plug, very minimalist. Basically, the only thing you actually need to plug into this device. You have a mini display port, which allows you, of course, to daisy chain. I have seen people put up to 3 external monitors with a Surface Studio. We'll be testing that out, of course, as well. Really nice thing. Now, I should also point out you can't plug in things into the device. In other words, if you have a Surface Book, you can't plug it into the device to use the display, which is a bit of a downer. You do have a full SD card slot. Probably would have been nicer in the front, but then it wouldn't have looked as nice. A little awkward to have it here in the back, but there you go. And then, of course, a headphone jack. Let's talk a little bit about this zero gravity hinge, one of the hallmark features of the Surface Studio. So Microsoft shared with me a lot of details about how this all works. And what's really impressive is all the wiring from this display goes in through these into the base. Now, that may sound simple enough, but let's talk about how much wiring is in this. First of all, I should point out there are two speaker sets, basically left and right, built into the display. So you can't see them. They're placed down here at the bottom. Now, actually, there's two for the left and two for the right to give all the power for them. So it's actually 4 speakers in here. So you got to have 4 speakers of wiring going through this. You need, of course, the display power and the touch stuff going through there as well. That's the G5 Pro coprocessor that's available on Surface Book. And they actually had to put a bunch of modules throughout the display to improve the sensitivity of it. So there's all that wiring that needs to go through here. There's also a 5-megapixel front-facing camera with dual IR lenses and basically the facial recognition system. All that wiring needs to go in through here. And all in all, it's a ton of wiring. A lot of I heard like 100 feet or something more than that actually goes through all this, and it could even be more, but it's a real remarkable feat of engineering, and it's something that took them a real long time to actually figure out. So I just want to point that out because you guys should really appreciate it. Now, being audio, there's also, it's actually Dolby 2.1, so you get those left and right, but that means the subwoofer is in the base of the device itself, and it actually works very well. When we tested the audio, there was full resonance coming out from it. It was actually pretty impressive. Let's talk a little bit about this front-facing camera. It is 5 megapixel and shoots at full HD video. It's probably one of the best video cameras I've used to date across the board. Now, that may also be because of this ridiculous display, but you should, I guess, expect this type of quality for about $3,000. I should mention that the Windows Hello system is very aggressive and works fantastically on this. It's probably one of the fastest systems you can get, and that's because obviously the quad-core processor helps a lot. When it comes to our Surface Studio, we got the one that's 1 terabyte with an Intel Core i7, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 2 gigabyte GPU. That's the GTX 965M. And this is the middle of the road version, so it goes for $34.99. There is a cheaper one at $29.99. That has a 1 terabyte hard drive, but an Intel Core i5 processor. And if you want the top of the line, you're going to be spending around $41.99 for the 2 terabyte hard drive. But that one comes with 32 gigs of RAM and a 4 gigabyte GPU, which happens to be the GTX 980M. So there's a quick unboxing of the Microsoft Surface Studio. Pay attention in the coming weeks as I do my full review. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and leave us a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody. This is easily the best use of $3,400 ever.